our teacher, after he passed away, would lit a candle at his desk every day for that class period, which was really cool, but also really hard because I would look over to my right and see his desk, and I thought it was a really nice way for, you can just show that, it just shows that it affected the teachers as well.
My name is Alexis Bailey, and I went to Rampart from 2007 to 2011.
Name's Ian McClintock, was at Rampart 06, graduated 2010.
My name is Haley Larson, now Larson, was Chance, and graduated in 2011.
My name is Jean St. Clair. I'm the head boys basketball coach here at Rampart High School.
My name is Kelly. I was at Rampart High School from 2006 and I graduated in 2010.
We shared sports and we shared classes together. Just a cool guy, just somebody fun to be around who had a great attitude about life.
He was just one of those bubbly kids who would make friends with everybody, and like you knew where he was because it just seemed different when you were around him. Like there was an aura, and it's hard to describe it, but everything just kind of seemed lighter when he was around.
My older brother Tyler, Chance, was on the basketball team with Nick, and they obviously got very close just with their time together through the years playing basketball.
I coached Nick for 3 years before he died when he was a freshman, all the way up to his junior year.
We would see each other through like in between practices or in between games, or the boys would come work our tournament, or the girls would work the boys' tournament.
People knew Nick. It was just somebody that people knew in the best way. Like he was just had such a presence about him that drew people in, and just people knew him because he was just a people person. And
friendly guy, you know, somebody that you wanted in your circle, somebody that you know you could trust.
First impression is he had long hair and he was kind of a goofy kid. So that was my first impression.
Kind of like a Sonic the Hedgehog, because every time he ran, it was just full speed and his hair would just be flowing behind him.
Especially during game time situations, he was always the one that was running up and down the court faster than everybody else, just trying to set the tone, set the pace, and you know that carried over into his personal life. He wanted the best for everybody, kept up the pace, and tried to keep everybody in a good mood.
I got a call from Sierra Clasquin. She said, "Are you busy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you know, but what's up? What's going on?" Kind of, she broke the news to me, and I was standing in the parking lot at Chapel Hills Mall, and I just froze. I didn't believe her, and I told her that probably 100 times. I was like, you know, it's not real, like don't lie to me.
One, it was heartbreak, but before that it was probably in shock that it happened. That was the first thing, is like, there's no way.
That night, I remember I got home from work and my friend Brent called me. And he's like, "Dude, have you heard?" And I'm like, "No, why?" And he just broke down on the phone saying Nick was gone.
The word kind of got out, and one person said something, and then it, you know, it sounds like a rumor, right? Like nobody believes that, you know, that's true. It just sounds like crazy talk.
He was healthy. He was a good kid. He did everything right. He was strong, and I was just surprised. And then after that, it was just heartbreak. Didn't know what to do from there.
The school day after the news, it was so weird. It was like the school didn't want to turn on, as if the school didn't want to go on without him.
It just seemed like every other light, or like every third light, was the only one on, and you just have to walk through that, and it's just like, no.
It was surreal. I just remember going to AP Biology, and the hallway was completely not, the lights weren't on. The only lights you could see were from the classrooms shining into the hallway. The building itself knew that Nick passed, and it needed a break itself.
You don't know how to react, really, you know, because it still feels like he's going to walk in the door, or, you know, it's going to be a false alarm or something like that.
Mr. Severe, I think he was part of the soccer staff. He made it halfway through the first problem. He ran out into the hallway, and we could hear him sobbing in the hallway.
I had Mr. Bradford for computer programming, and we couldn't do it. Here we are 10 years later, and I'm still having a little bit of a hard time talking about it, you know, because like I said, senior year, shoot, we're all 16, 17. We're not supposed to think about that stuff, you know? That's not supposed to happen to our guys.
I look back on that, and you know, I don't even remember, to be honest with you, how I told the kids, but I do remember the kids being rallied around him and wanted to dedicate their season to him. So I think it was easy.
But that whole night, it was kind of uplifting for a little bit, seeing the entire school come back together, just be like, okay, maybe that was our way of getting closure. Just being like, all right, this is what he wanted, this is what he did. One night, let's all put it out there.
I remember orange, just a sea of orange, and that was the coolest thing, because being in a gym filled with blue and gold, orange is the last thing you see.
To see everyone, not only the people in our school, but in our community, come to the game and just dressed up in orange and supporting the family, that was huge. I was very proud of that moment.
It was a very bonding experience, and you just, even though you don't talk to those people that you processed it with, you're like tied to them. So that definitely lingers from that experience, is how you interact with the friends from that time, and also Nick's family, obviously, just feeling a bond to them that will probably always be there. So.
We were ranked #1 in the state in the beginning of the season. We had a great summer leading up to that point. Nick was a part of that. Kids performed. They played hard, and it was all for Nick. But they all really loved each other, and I think that's one of the things that helped us rally was Nick making sure that we stayed together.
Amidst the chaos, amidst the tragedy and the heartache, we just felt like a family. It was something that I think we had to live through together in order to know that we were going to make it.
I felt in 2014, that's when it hit me the hardest, when I became a coach myself.
Every day when I walk into practice with my girls, I try to have just some sort of outlook to let them know why we do what we do. It's bigger than volleyball most days for us. The life lessons that are built in a C-squad volleyball team are, I think, what we cherish so much in Nick. His drive and his leadership and his humility and his care for other people, and all the while still being a freaking cool competitor.
For his life, just how to be a better person and treat people with respect, even, you might not know a whole story about someone, but just treating them with respect no matter what you know, or how to love people well is really stuck with me, because he did that very well, and that's what everyone remembers about him, because he did it very well. So.
I still write 20 on the floor, especially when we have our Nick Reff game, our first game of the season. There's not a day that goes by that I don't walk by the trophy case and see his jersey and I think about him. So as long as I'm here, no one will wear 20. And then the other thing that's real important to us is that we have the Nick Reff Award, and after the season during our banquet, that's our most prestigious award that we give out to a dual sport athlete, someone who represents the boys basketball team.
Every time when it's his birthday, I still have the orange shirt that we all wore for the orange out for his for that Rampart game, and I might be at work, but it'll be tucked in underneath it. So.
That's actually why I'm wearing this shirt. There was a young man at Mitchell that was in an accident. It was during their water break where they found out that he actually had died. So in the middle of basketball practice, they come back bawling, and there was just one player. She was inconsolable. I grabbed her by the shoulders, and I said, "Honey, I know how you feel. My friend Nick Reff died when I was a senior in high school." It's like we were bonded instantly through somebody that she didn't know, through Nick. Nick definitely helps me help them, for sure, 100%.
But I think in what the last 10 years has taught me is to love bigger than yourself. I try to do that as much as I can in what I do through my coaching or what I do through my teaching. Life is hard. You go through stuff, but you battle it and you come out stronger because of it. Deanne and Marty did an excellent job of showing us that as they remain strong throughout this, unspeakable thing that they've lived through.
We still miss you, buddy. It has been a wild 10 years. It sucks the way that things happened the way they did. But obviously we still talk about him down here. We still talk about him, his family. I mean, heck, he's got his jersey retired.
I would just tell him thank you for the time that we spent together. I'll cherish that forever. And I can honestly say I do love him and still think about him. And happy to be his coach for the time that I have.
I think I would say just thank you for being such a wonderful human, and there's a lot of, things to be negative about in the world, but you chose to be a positive light to those around you. And
you know, as a junior in high school, as a teenage boy, he left this earth not knowing a thing about what he did for us, you know. And I think that's what's so cool about legacy, and that's what I try to teach my students and my players a lot, is just what legacy means. And so I think I would just thank him for what he did, and I would want to reassure him, you've done this, you know, show him the teenage boy, the freshman in high school now that's walking through the doors wearing this orange shirt, or show him what his name on the wall out there looks like and how many kids walk by and look at that every single day, and just, you know, thank him for being who he is, but he didn't know it. You know, none of us knew that at that time. I would also tell him that his family means the absolute world to me.
I would say thank you for everything that you've taught everyone, and you didn't even know it. Like, you were teaching us when you were alive, and you're teaching us now, 10 years later, for being one of a kind and setting a good example and pathway for the rest of us. Still figuring this out without you.
To his parents, I see them from time to time. They know that I care about them and think about them all the time. And if there's anything that I can do for them still, I would still do that. I know that it's still a tough thing for them, and I just wish them the best every day and pray for them.
Your guys' son was an absolute blast, an absolute treat, an absolutely great human being. He was one of the best people out there, you know, at school. You could pick him out from anybody. And, you know, I'm sure, like you guys probably heard earlier, you couldn't step into Rampart without knowing that he was there. You still can't with everything that he's done. He's left a legacy. He's done you guys proud. We love you guys. You guys will always have the city support, the school support, anything you guys will ever need. As long as y'all need it, if anybody from Rampart that knew him is still around, they'd be more than willing to help you guys out. All you have to do is reach out. We love you guys. We miss your son. We love your son. And hopefully we'll get to see him again soon.
I think, well, both of us, like, thank you for raising such a wonderful human that we got to share for a few years, and you got to have for many years. And we're like, thank you for just loving him, and that obviously showed because he loved others well. Tyler just saying to the Reff, just thank you to the Refs and just to Nick specifically for just showing those wonderful best friend qualities that you just look for forever. So just showing a kind of the example of how to be a good person and a really good friend.
Our girls basketball coach gave us a card of flowers, and we all signed it, and we were gonna give it to you guys. I think it was 4 bleachers exactly. And I look at you, Nick's mom, first time I've ever seen you in my life, first time I've ever met you. The other 3 seniors are behind me, and I give you the flowers, and I give you the card. You stood up, and you hugged me. That hug was the best hug I've ever had in my life. But also, I felt as if you were hugging Nick through me. If that makes any sense. You did a heck of a job raising an amazing son. He was just absolutely just so freaking cool. Thank you for gifting the world with such a wonderful person. Truly was and is to this day still a blessing and impacting our lives. Clearly we're making this video, so we still think of him quite often.
So Deanne, Marty, Amanda, Ryan, Nick, we love you guys. You have taught us all so much about what it means to be resilient, what it means to battle, what it means to be parents, you know, and to live through hard stuff. I think everybody needs a Reff in their lives, you know, and to know that I have gained something so special in the relationship that I've built with you guys. I can't speak highly enough of how much you guys mean to me. 10 years later, you know, this is still so fresh, especially being in these halls every single day. It's something that we still live through, and it's something that we still battle and you know, and try to fight, you know, the sadness and the stress that comes with it. But it is something that I think we have gained just an unreal amount of, you know, gratitude and appreciation for life and appreciation for family and for community, and you guys started that. So to the Reffs, love you guys. Thank you so much for everything.